the first thing I'm going to go through, but it would be, oh, you're the National STEM Honor Society. There should be a recognition component. There would be project-based learning. Okay. Other things you might put in there as you're designing this. Ooh, there should be resources. Future readiness. That's what it's all about. And leadership. This is, of course, recognition. You know, people say, oh, you must be the National Honor Society only for STEM. Well, kind of. The only thing is, well, there's lots of differences, but one of them is that the kids get National STEM Honor Society in kindergarten. Then they get it in first grade. Then they get it in second grade. They get it in third and fourth and fifth and sixth grade and all the way through. And someday someone's going to run the table, one of these students. They're going to start in kindergarten. They're going to go all the way through high school. And when they do, they'll have over a half a year, a working year of project-based learning under their belt. How's it like to have that kid coming to your college? How's it like to have that kid coming to work at your company? You know, it's really exciting, all the project-based learning. So this is one of our chapters in New York. Of course, we talked at the PTA. I'm going to the breakout session. I can't wait for the PTA thing. But if you really want to excite parents, and particularly in elementary and middle school, get a National STEM Honor Society chapter. Because these parents, they're so used to the kids playing soccer, then they're going to play basketball, and they're going to go do this, and they're going to do that, and hang out. But where is that STEM kid? How do we get that community? When kids are, let's take a first grader, and they're off playing soccer, right? And the parents are on the sidelines. First grade is their first game, and they score in the wrong net. They literally score in the wrong net, and they think they won the World Cup, and they're all celebrating, right? And the parents are cracking up on the sidelines. Then what happens? Well, then they're inviting everybody over to the house to have a barbecue, and the kids are kicking the soccer ball in the backyard. What forms? A community forms. Sports communities, we all know all about them. Got the basketball, soccer, this, that. What we're working on is forming that STEM community in kindergarten, first grade, second grade, third grade. That's what we're really trying to do. Recognition is an important component. Project-based learning. One of the things that, and I was talking with Claudia of MIT, we had a great lunch, and we talked about problem-based learning. So what we're trying to do is have the kids think about things like you guys are doing, problem-based learning, where the kids are really coming home, and they come home, they're in fifth grade, and they go, well, how was the day today? Well, we're working on petrochemical and alternative fuel. In New Orleans, we're working on the flooding. In Texas, we're working on the electrical grid. And in Florida, we're trying to keep the state from going underwater, you know? But these are real-world problems that we want our kids to work on, and they get very excited when it's real-world problems and it really makes a difference. So couple other axioms. One, mentorship is super important. We want the older kids helping the younger kids, right? We want the high school kids helping out with the middle school kids. We want the middle school kids helping out with the elementary school kids. Because when a high school kid walks into a middle or elementary school, they're like, oh my God, look at that. That's almost a man. It's almost a woman, you know? And it's just so impressive, right? So that's what we want is mentorship. So just a few things about project-based learning. And it's really at the intersection also of book learning and project-based learning. When you add book learning, and we're talking about, just in the previous session, how trying to match up this timing of mathematics and science so that in week 7, they're actually talking about the same thing and they intersect. But really, when you combine just overall book learning and project-based learning, 1 + 1 = 10. Because the application is that's why I'm studying molecules? How cool is that? All right. The next is resources. Everyone needs resources. We got a job to do. We're resource short. And so if you were designing the National STEM Honor Society, you'd say, let's have resources. Well, that's what we did. So starting in 2017, we built a database of thousands of resources, and it's all sortable by grade level, state, and type of resource. So you could go Florida, robotics, elementary school. Boom, and they all pop up. You can go New York, robots, high school, and they all pop up. So it's this incredible curated library that comes with it. So it really is ready resources for everyone. In fact, there's around if you're interested, there's around $300 million worth of STEM scholarships and grants right now on the website. And it's all sortable by state and national and all that kind of stuff. So check that out. And then, of course, future readiness. This is what it's all about. I was on the phone with Project Lead the Way. I'm sure a number of you are familiar with them, right? And the fellow I was talking to goes, Ken, do you know how much the average college grad makes coming out of college right now? I said, this is about a year old. He goes, $54,000. I said, that's interesting. Do you know how much the average STEM graduate makes right now coming out of college? I'm like, no, $103,000. From $54,000 to $103,000. What does that do? It changes that kid's life. It changes the trajectory of that kid's life. It changes the family of that kid, and you know what? It can change the community that that kid goes back into. They could own their own company, they could be a great person in their community and raise a family on a great salary, and that's just starting salaries. So there's a lot riding here. There's a lot of meat on the bone with what we're all doing. Future readiness for our kids. And finally, leadership. We don't just, if we were designing it together in 2017, we go, yes, we'd like science, technology, engineering, math, but we want to enhance the leadership of these kids. As we were talking about, George from MIT was like, what we really need is we need leaders in STEM. We need STEM, and we need leaders in STEM. Way up here, big demand, big demand. How do we do that? How do we build leaders in STEM? Well, one of the ways we do that is that we have chapter officers. So you see this girl here in the middle? Say she's in 5th grade. And she is the president of her National STEM Honor Society chapter in 5th grade. And she's got a vice president, she's got a secretary, she's got a vice president of social media, of course, right? So she's got all this stuff's going on. And by the way, teachers are busy, right? Any teachers busy in here? I don't think so. Yeah, very busy, right? So teachers are busy. So what's one of the greatest ways to save you time and to enrich your students? Delegate to them. So as opposed to if you're the chapter advisor, as opposed to you putting together the agenda, you ask this girl in the middle, would you mind putting together the agenda for our meetings? What's an agenda? That's where all the cool stuff we're going to do. That's what we're going to. I'd be happy to. Isn't that cool? And now we've got a leadership opportunity for our students. And you can't, it takes a village. Everybody in here. So these are our partners, and you can see ITEA, who's at the conference now. Thurgood Marshall Center Trust is a big partner of ours. One Lesson, as you know, is on our advisory council. So we've got a tremendous number of incredible partners. And thank you.